Well, I haven't messed with anything because we haven't. I don't even think I've done.
9 days.
We did the light video. That's what we did when we fixed the light on the trailer.
Oh yeah.
Which did horrible, by the way. It didn't even get 200 views.
Oh whatever.
Like it was.
It doesn't
I guess
matter.
Everybody's left turn signal's working on their trailer right now.
If it helps one person, that's all that matters.
Yeah, it's true. It's true for sure. All right, so let's go. So Mr. Mayhem says word. Are you monitoring this on your end? Okay. Hey, Fr8, that software to fill out trip sheets has been discontinued. What do you use now? Pen and paper, because I'm too cheap to freaking buy an app. I don't know. I need to figure something out. But I'm sure there's something, guys. Be honest with you, when you're filling out a trip sheet every couple of days, it's not my most priority.
You can actually take a Sharpie and hit your dots, like your bubbles.
Right.
And then just photocopy off like 200 copies at the terminal.
Well, I did a video where we were using Adobe Fill and Sign, and it worked great. I mean, it was amazing. That software was fantastic because you could just take a PDF of the document, put it on Adobe Fill and Sign, and you could literally preload, things that didn't change, like your name, your driver code, stuff like that. It was fantastic. So, but yeah, I mean, Adobe Fill and Sign it was the best. I mean, ask anyone, it was the best. But I guess they realized everybody was using it so much, so they decided to charge it. Charge for it. So now to get Fill and Sign, you have to buy Photoshop now. The app. You have to buy the features in the app.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Crackhead Imped says, if a newbie drops a trailer while driving, do you think he should get fired immediately or deserves a second chance because everyone deserves a second chance? Okay, first of all, Crackhead, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I think you're a little biased on the newbie. Are you the newbie? Because it sounds like you were the newbie. Second of all, if you drop a trailer while you're driving, bro, you don't need a regular driver's license. Like, you need to be, they need to give you like stock an Uber. You don't need to be driving.
I think we need more details on that one.
Yeah, I want to know. So like, give me some locations, some times.
Like was it going over the GW Bridge in New York, or
exactly.
was it in a yard, or what?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know about that one, brother. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, we're gonna need some more information.
Guys, if you drop a trailer at all, so when you're hooking up to a trailer, and I think I've got a video about a hookup on a trailer that we did. It might have been a long time ago, but if you're hooking up to a trailer, guys, when you are backing into the trailer, first thing you want to do is make sure, before you get up under that trailer, get out and look and make sure that your fifth wheel is going to be right at the level of the trailer, or it's going to actually pick the trailer up, okay, as you're coming up under it. If you go to back up under that thing, you get the rear drive up under there, and the trailer's like this, you have gap like this, the trailer's praising the Lord, bro, you got to get out and let that thing down, because you're going to end up slamming that trailer in the back of your cab or into that toolbox. But you should feel the clink of the locking jaws around the kingpin, and then you should be able to turn around and actually do a tug test and get out and check your locking jaws. He says, yeah, Adobe was great. I had to use another app to scan a sheet in. It was a nightmare. Prime training, aka if you're a DEI hire, we got you. DEI? Is that
That's the stuff that Trump did away with.
the language barrier stuff?
No, that's the...
You talking about the SAP drivers?
No, that's the everyone deserves the same rights regardless of diversity, equality, and I forget what the I is.
I thought that was the whole point of not being this whole point didn't we have equal opportunity employer back then? But what, that wasn't good enough? I'm sorry, I'm under a rock with this DEI stuff. I don't understand that. Your thoughts on rates and where they're headed? Well, here's the thing, guys. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on. I haven't covered it. I haven't covered the the language enforcement, the English Language Proficiency Enforcement Act, that they're, and see, this is the thing, this stuff's been going on, it's been forever, this stuff's been around forever, but they can pass as many laws as they want, but if they don't enforce them, what's the point, I mean,
yeah, I mean, you're going to get a lot of states that are going to push back on that.
Right.
It's just how it is.
Yeah.
I don't see places like California doing anything.
Yeah.
And until you get,
I think it is a
three-quarters
safety.
of the country.
I think it is a safety issue, but I think what the biggest issue that we have is people coming over here and exploiting the system for personal gain, which is flooding the market with drivers to the point where the people that went to school for 12, 15, 20 weeks to get their CDL, we did a live, and I've said this several times, we did a live with a good friend of mine, Juan Perez. He's a really good driver here for Prime. He's a flatbed guy, Texas Regional. And Juan has family from Mexico that comes over with a regular driver's license from Mexico and jumps right in a truck. They don't need a CDL. The United States of America allows them with B1 visas to come over and drive these trucks. And I don't understand how that's okay. When John just, he's having to go through, 10 to 12 weeks of training to get his CDL. He can't just jump in a truck. And, there's a lot of people out there that say this is a racist thing. This is you just hate foreigners. You hear this stuff all the time. That's ignorance. Because it's not. If you would really, when we talk about rates, like, Rog is talking about, he wants to know about rates. For the first time in history, contract rates and spot market rates are neck and neck. I mean, they're right there with each other. If you watch the freight rates and the sonar maps, these rates are neck and neck, and it's starving owner-operators because the influx of so many drivers that will haul freight for 80 cents a mile, $1 a mile, $1 to a mile. You got to understand, these people come from a lot of third world countries that this money over here that is crap to us is good to them. And I don't fault anybody for trying to better themselves or their family, but this is a really harsh topic because people want to tiptoe around it, And I'm all about everybody succeeding, but you need to do it the right way. You need to go through the right processes, and I don't think it's right for the system to allow them to. I'm glad they're kind of standing up and they're getting rid of the stuff. There's a lot of foreign entities over here, brokers, that are not legit. They're double, triple brokering loads,
Yep.
which does nothing but jack the rates up, or jack the cut up for the brokers. They're taking more and more away from the driver, so the driver gets less and the brokers get more. And then they don't even cover the rate. They take the money and the driver gets nothing. And the transparency stuff that they were pushing at the end of last year, but this goes back to the same thing. If they're not going to enforce it, it's not going to do any good. What are your thoughts?
Well, you also got what they call ghost brokers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That are putting, these loads that don't even exist
Yep.
on these load boards for
It's 2025, man.
like $5,000. Where
Yeah, if they can find a way to scam somebody, they're going to find a way to scam somebody.
and then you're going to call in as an owner operator. Hey, I want this load. Blah blah blah. I can do it. I can be there in 30 minutes.
When in reality, the load paid like $1,500.
Oh, I just booked somebody on that load and he took $3,000. So
Right.
I got another one. If you do it for $3,000, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, or the problem is the simple fact that these ghost brokers will take that load. If the load really pays, say, $2,000 total,
Mm-hmm.
okay, they're taking the whole $2,000, telling this guy it's going to be $5,000.
Yeah.
Well, say the operator's not checking on the broker's accreditation, they're not checking the broker's score.
Yeah.
They're not checking on the shipper receipt. They're just like, man, $5,000 for 800 miles. Heck yeah, I'm taking that. And in reality, the $2,000 that the load actually paid went to the broker, the ghost broker that doesn't even exist.
Mm-hmm.
The guy hauled the load. Broker's gone.
And
Can't trace it.
And that's why for any of you owner operators that may be watching, if the broker's not factorable, stay away from that.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and there's so much accreditation. There's a lot. They're going into accreditation now and rating scores.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're getting really big on rating scores for brokers and drivers and carriers. So not just your CSA score. There's actually a website that I was watching, Trucking Made Successful, which she's a small fleet flatbed owner. I don't know if it's her and her boyfriend or her husband or whatever it is, but she's really smart. I mean, this woman she's on top of her stuff. I mean, I love her channel, guys. Trucking Made Successful. You want to watch somebody smarter than me? Watch her. She's very smart. A lot of fantastic information. But she will literally call out this stuff that's happening and make drivers aware of it and carriers aware of it.
Yeah.
I'm all about, even though we're running for a mega carrier, I always want everybody to be successful. I can't stand the fact that the way the industry is now, the American dream in trucking, to own your own truck, to own the big flashy hood truck that everybody wants, is almost unattainable. It's ridiculous that a foreigner that's not a citizen, may or may not even be a citizen, a legalized citizen of this nation, can come in and reap benefits that American citizens can't. Mm-hmm. These guys work their whole lives for these trucks.
Yep.
And these foreign entities come into the country and they're able to get grants and they're able to do whatever they want to do. And the government caters to them. And I don't understand. 9 times out of 10, this money that they're making here gets exported back to their home country to further their life back home, their family's life back home. And I don't blame them for utilizing the system. The system allows it. Mm-hmm. But there's no need to be mad at the foreigner. He's just working within his bounds.
Yeah.
The system's who we need to be mad at. So I'm hoping that change.
It's a broken system.
Yeah, it's a broken system. And it's just like with anything. If anybody can find a chance to exploit it, they can exploit it. If you can find something that's going to personally help you with your gain on whatever you're doing, they're going to do it. 9 times out of 10, integrity is a thing of the past. Let's see. But the DEI hire, you said that was called what?
It's diversity, equality, and let me look it up.
Brutus Carpathia says prime training, aka if you're a DEI hire, we got you. I don't know, man.
Diversity, equality, and inclusion.
Yeah, I've seen some questionable
It's a
people in prime.
concept that focuses on creating a workplace or environment where individuals from a diverse background are valued, treated fairly, and have the opportunity to participate fully.
Well, let's be honest though. Treated fairly, the way I think is like a lot of these groups, and I know I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna piss people off, and that's okay. But a lot of these groups, here's the thing. How do I say this without saying it? Here's the thing. All right, if you want to be an elephant, you can be an elephant. But to what degree do I have to participate? If you need applause for your lifestyle and the way you want to live your life from other people, you should probably be looking in the mirror and checking into a new lifestyle. Because you don't need me to buy a ticket to your circus to prove that you're the ringmaster.
Yep.
That's all there is to it. I don't know how else to say it. There's no me parades, going down the street. I don't have a day. I don't have a month.
Well, today's my day.
Today is your day.
Most certainly.
Today is your day. And we're not going to get political on it. But the thing about it is, though, too, is a lot of people, when you start talking about preferences, lifestyle, and how people really are, nobody has an open mind anymore.
No.
I don't care what anybody wants to do with their life. It's their choice. I care when it affects my life. Mm-hmm. That's my problem with it. And a lot of people will have an issue with that because if you're not totally accepting of, and that's the whole thing with politics now, and I'm not getting into this, but I'm saying family members and friends, in your life have disowned people over politics. It's like, if you don't agree with everybody, they hate you. And I don't understand that at all, And I know this is a trucking channel. I'm not trying to get off too much, of course, and I know there's going to be a bunch of people clicking off because of this, but it's the truth. And that's why people don't like to hear it. Mm-hmm. You don't have to hate somebody because you don't agree with them or you don't agree with their political views. The humanity and the common decency and the common respect for your fellow man, your brother and sister, is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. So that's why I try to stay out of it. It's just ridiculous. So Trey, on to something else. We're going to go to Trey's comment. He says, dealt with this today. Any tips for stubborn tandems at a dirt or gravel 01? So guys, you need to carry some wheel chocks with you. If wheel chocks don't work, you need to try to find a curb. Okay, if you're on a dirt and gravel lot and you can't get it to slide, if you don't have wheel chocks and you can't find a curb, you need to pull off somewhere where you can find a curb. I know it sounds crude, because sometimes you guys want to make sure that your weight is correct before you leave the shipper and receiver, or you leave the shippers, but you got to do what you got to do. And let's be honest, a lot of these shippers, they don't care how they load you. You're going to have to go get a cat scale anyways. So you can get to that truck stop, find a parking spot, find that curb, and push up against it. Now, if it's the problem going forward, you're trying to pull the axles back to the rear, you're going to have to double up on your chocks. So either you put chalk in front of both front tandems, front axle, and chalk in front of both rear axles. You're going to have to stop it somehow. So, and then if the slides won't slide, well, it's a defective trailer, tandem release and slide. You need to get it figured out. You probably have to get it to a shop. Hope that helps, Trey. I mean, and you can ask. If you're at a shipper, a lot of times they have chocks laying beside the dock, and go ask the other drivers, man. That's one thing I can tell you guys. Most of our issues as human beings and as drivers are solved by communication. Just communicate, brother. Just go ask them.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't start dragging the trailer through.
No, don't drag the trailer. Don't
that's not
do that.
That's not going to get you anywhere.
Because I've seen some, like, and I don't think you and I have had one. I think Aaron and I had one. We had one where the brakes wouldn't lock totally. You know, we were trying to pull the trailer axles. We're trying to actually spread them out.
Yeah.
You know, bring them to the rear, and I couldn't get the trailer to lock totally. I mean, I had to use the chocks. I had to ask. There was like a piece of wood. Yeah. I mean, we had to get crude with it, bro. I went over there and got a rock. You know, yeah, we were doing whatever we had to do.
We used to have that problem on those chicken trailers that I used to work with a lot. Where
right.
The parking brake function of that trailer was non-existent.
Right. It was no good.
Yeah, it was non-existent.
Just didn't work.
No, but I mean, there's ways around that.
Right.
You know, I've seen guys use bags of kitty litter, like the big 50-pound bags.
Really?
You know, every once in a while you'll see a truck where it's, you know, strapped to the catwalk.
Yeah.
Or gravel.
Oh yeah.
You know, the big gravel bags you can buy at Home Depot for $10.
Right. I've even seen guys have like concrete bags, like solidified concrete bags. These guys just carry this stuff around.
We lost your camera.
Huh?
We lost your camera. Oh, it's back now.
No, I went flip to yours.
Okay.
Yeah, I flipped to you.
I just hang. I'm trying to remember what else. I know.
John's not comfortable with technocracy yet.
Way
Dude, I don't even know what I'm doing with this. To be honest with you, I really don't.
You brought this camera where the lens follows you, and I'm so lost. I can tell you now, when I first started driving, there was none of these air slide tandem releases and all that stuff.
Right.
I had the big levers that you had to sit there and yoke up on, and take your hammer and beat the pin in, and
yeah, we were talking about how things were different when you first got your CDL, and how I first got my CDL. It was so weird because the pre-trip now, it's like all over the place.
It is.
And it doesn't touch on anything. Like they don't even get to the rear suspension or anything, or the wheels or anything on the rear of the tractor at all. It's like, you just forget about those. Like, don't even worry about them.
I'm going to tell you this. I think I'm going to wake up in the morning and probably say things that I shouldn't say because it's just stuck in my head right now. But today,
come on, tell us, brother. Tell us.
Properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken.
There you go.
Clean and illuminated.
That's for everything.
Yeah. No abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Like, oh my Lord. I am glad that's over and I don't have to do that again.
He went to oh man.
Hold on. So let me explain this situation to you today. So, where were we? Berryville, Arkansas?
Berryville, Arkansas. Everything seemed like it was working against us.
So this morning, we had a game plan. Midnight, we were getting hours back because we're running recaps.
He had hours, but I didn't. And if you're in the PSD phase, your instructor has to have hours to be on duty while the trainee drives.
Right.
And obviously, you have to have, or student, I would say student, because in the PSD phase, you're considered a student. And obviously, I had to have hours if I was going to drive. So I had nothing. Like, we had like 2 days where we ran like 10 hours, 11 hours. We had like a load or something we had to push through on, and I hate running like that.
Yeah, there was 2 loads that were really tight, and I mean you just had to. The load called for it.
Yeah, we had to wait. We had no choice.
But anyhow, so we got up here. It was probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, we got coffee, got to the pad, and started running through this stuff. You know, for the final time. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm freezing because I'm cold nowadays.
I'm cold nowadays.
Yeah. Well, I remember
You told me, bro.
When I was younger, I would wear shorts in a blizzard. But you got to remember,
You told me though when we were talking. I was like, dude, I keep it like an ice box in this truck. Are you good with that? You're like, oh, dude, that's my jam.
Well,
and now he's like, it's like 71 degrees. Bro, it's freezing in here. Like, what's?
But you got to remember, last summer I was also 130-ish pounds heavier, ish.
Oh.
And my wife keeps the house in the mid 70s in the summertime.
Yeah.
So 70 degrees is pretty like we're good. Like I feel like $1 million now.
What's the lowest that the truck goes to? Was it like 62 or something?
Something like 60 or 62.
It's on 60 all the time.
So this morning, I had both windows down because I was listening to you, and I had that heat on full blast.
Yeah.
Just to stay warm. Long sleeve on. Yeah, the whole nine. But anyhow, so we run through this stuff, good to go. You know, we hit our time frame. Like, there was no more practice that could remotely happen.
Yeah, we stopped at like 6:15, I think, this morning.
The sun was up. Yeah, it was go time. I'm not going to name names of prime employees.
Examiners, though.
But Fr8 tells me about how with Aaron there was this one examiner that walked up to him and was like, "Hey man, I hope you pass because I haven't done real good today with passing people," or something like that.
Yeah, he said I failed 4 people already, and he gets the same examiner, and that was Aaron's first time. That's when Aaron failed, and the examiner had sat down and he looked at Aaron and he says, "Aaron, let me tell you something. I need a win. I failed 4 drivers today." Like, how do you tell somebody that? It's about like the anxiety's not enough already, you know.
Now, keep in mind, I was a nervous wreck today. Yeah, I was like, oh man, I hope this happens because my family needed it.
Yep.
So we go in, we sit down at the table, waiting our turn, and here comes this guy. And I looked over at...
Here comes this guy.
I looked over at Will and I said, "Is that him?" And the only thing he did was sit here and smile. And I knew I was done for. But in his defense, he was probably one of the nicest gentlemen I've ever met.
Yeah, he was really cool about it. But here's the thing. So he sees this particular examiner walking out. He's like, dude, there he is. And he's got a DOT officer behind him. Are you kidding me? Bro, he had a DOT officer with him the whole time. Fr8 Jon was freaking out. He was freaking out.
While you're learning the steps of this whole program, like, you do it in stages. Like the pre-trip, the backing. Like, you just don't learn everything all in one, like, go.
Yeah.
Right? So for the past several weeks, we've practiced the pre-trip as it is on the paper that they give you. Nowhere on this paper that says, "Yo, bro, you gotta lead this thing." Like, I'm thinking coming into this morning, we'll be prompted. Okay, I need you to do your 4 stages of your air brake test.
Yeah.
No, that did not happen.
You just had to go into it.
So Will tells me, 30 minutes before, you gotta tell the examiner what you're doing. I'm like, what are you talking about?
No. When we practiced,
Well,
I kept
okay.
on you about verbiage because I
Yeah,
kept saying
well,
like
verbiage,
you
right.
gotta tell them, like you got to point, you got to.
But I wasn't taking it as, hey, you have to lead this.
Yeah.
So my man gets in the passenger seat with his clipboard. DOT officer sitting on the bunk with his clipboard. And I look over and they're both staring at me. So I'm like, well, what do you guys want to do?
What do you guys want to do?
He's like, well,
I haven't heard this, by the way.
He said,
so.
you're going to do your pre-trip. Well, yeah, I know that. Well, what do you want me to do first? I was like, I could do this a couple different ways.
Yeah.
He goes, I can't tell you what to do at all.
Oh, okay.
And that's how this guy talks. Very soft spoken.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have good hearing, you're not hearing him talk.
Oh, I couldn't hear him earlier when he walked up. He was saying something to me, and I was like, "Hey, man, I can't."
On the pad,
You gotta speak up.
Doing the backing, like I literally had to put my ear down to him to hear him because with the truck running, like
You're like trying to get out, and you're like, you can't get out and look.
Yeah. So he looks over at the DOT officer, and DOT officer's like, "It's fine."
It's fine.
And he was like, just run through it. He goes, I don't care if you do the trailer first, just run through it.
Yeah, just do it.
I'm like, okay, well, the air brake test is the first thing on the paper. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And he was like, whatever you want to do.
Just left it up to you.
He goes,
carte blanche.
He goes, you could go do the fifth wheel and come back and do the air brake test and then go do lights and then come back. He goes, the DOT guy's like, I don't care.
Yeah, just get it done.
There's nothing in the law that says you have to do it in a specific order.
Just get it done.
So I start flying through this stuff. And I go through the whole air brake test. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, I missed something. I know I missed something. And the DOT guy's like, your examiner can't tell you if you missed anything. He goes, I need to stop talking because the air brake test is done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hint taken, let's rock.
Yeah.
And from that point on, the DOT guy didn't say another word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my subtle hint.
Yeah.
You haven't missed anything.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah, because they literally can't tell you anything. They can offer a little, just out of the way, whatever, and you take it however you want. But they can't do anything for you.
They can't verbally say or point or do anything.
Yeah, especially not with the DOT officer sitting there.
Right.
But yeah, he did it, guys.
So I started swinging through the whole pre-trip. And I'll be honest, I thought I missed a lot of things on that pre-trip. I really did. Because I just started, I was in my motions and I just started going.
Yeah.
And I think I missed something. Because I had a total of 4 points on there.
We're going to do some pre-trip videos for you guys, too, because you guys want to come and get your CDL.
Yeah.
Because there's some things on there that you guys really need to know about. And trainers, if you're doing the pre-trips with your guys and you're not using the checklist daily, it's probably not a good idea to let them use it on test day. And the reason being is because some of the verbiage on the checklist is not what you'd be using every single day. The first thing on the checklist is, I'm going to check my air or hydraulic brake system. Mm-hmm. That's going to throw somebody for a loop. They're going to be like, hydraulic brake? We never talked about that. There's hydraulics on here? Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to be careful with that. So you got to, best thing to do with that is go make a bunch of copies. And if you guys are going to use a checklist, Aaron or John, I didn't think, you didn't use a checklist at all, did you?
No, it was in the truck, but no, I didn't use it.
You never used it? Okay. No. So neither one of you guys used it when I started, because you're my second PSD since I came back to training. And here's the thing, that pre-trip jumps all over the place. Like it's...
Yeah, it does not flow.
No,
at all.
There's no solid flow where you can go from top to bottom, left to right, front to back. It's all kind of all over. And so that's something to be aware of. We can get that. And guys, it can change at any moment. I mean, the pre-trips change. Back when I came in and got my CDL back in like 15, I had my CDL since 15. And I sat on it for like almost 2 years before I came to Prime. And did nothing with it. That pre-trip, bro, you had to check every single axle. Every time you got done with one axle, you would say, I would check the other side just like I checked this side. Mm-hmm. And it was so in-depth. I mean, everything. Like, it was crazy. We were checking the water pump, the air compressor on the engine, whether it was gear driven or belt driven. I mean, it was nuts, bro. I mean, we were checking everything.
You had to touch every belt.
Yeah.
You had to tug on every belt.
If you had a 3-belt system on your motor, you had to talk about it. Like, it was like crazy. And I hate to say this, and a lot of you guys aren't going to agree with me, but I think that was great because it weeded out the weak. And that's the problem with trucking. We've made it too easy for everybody to get into it, which is another cause of the influx of drivers, which drives down rates. It's classic supply and demand. If you have more drivers than you have freight, well, guess what? The rates go down. If you have less drivers than you do have freight, the rates go up. So there's just too many drivers. COVID ruined trucking. COVID just catapulted the downfall for trucking rates because it was so great during COVID because people were trapped. They had to stay home. There was no, they couldn't leave. Everybody was scared. And that's another thing. Like this, I know you've seen this. Like just 2.5 short years ago, okay, everybody was freaking out if you didn't have a mask on. But now, like, these guys won't even wash their hands leaving the bathroom. Like, you know, it's insane. Like, everybody went, I mean, people were wearing welding masks and all kinds of stuff.
Gas masks.
Walking in, and you guys don't even wash your hands. Freaking, if you guys go to the bathroom in a truck stop, if you're at your house, you don't wash your hands, freaking disgusting.
Yeah, you're dirty.
I tell you, you dirty joker.
But, yeah, so, long story short, it went pretty smooth as far as the pre-trip.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know I missed something, you know.
And I'm going to get to you guys' comments, too. I haven't forgot about you guys.
I don't remember exactly. I can't pinpoint what it was. I've been running through my head, and what I can tell you is, especially if a DOT officer is present, you have to know what those parts are.
Yeah.
So, when I was orientating in Pittston, they were like, you don't have to know what they are. Just know where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And each state's different, so. Yeah.
So, right. So, he's, you know, he kind of was like, I need you to put your hand on the castle nut. I need you to put your hand on the leaf spring hanger.
So after you said it, though.
Yeah.
After you said it, okay.
So I had to physically show him.
And that's the part of the pre-trip that I miss because being a driver, you know, a lot of people that come into the industry say, well, I'm just going to get paid to sit and look through a windshield. But here's the thing. Whether you're an owner-operator or a company driver or whatever the case may be, you got to understand something. If you don't know your truck and you don't know your trailer, if something happens, you don't know these parts that combine to make this unit, well, guess what? You're not helping yourself or anybody else. So when you call your road assist or you call TA service or whatever the case may be, and you say, well, the thingamabobber on the back of the trailer is leaking air. I don't know what it is. It's just a thingamabobber. You're not helping yourself. You guys need to know your truck and trailer, like 100%.
Yeah, you better hope that whoever's coming to help you
has the thingamabobber.
Bringing a variety of parts that could be a thingamabobber.
Bringing some thingamajigs, some thingamabobbers, all of them.
But yeah, so that went smooth-ish, as well as it could have been.
Right.
You know, and they don't ever tell you, hey, you passed that section.
Right.
The only way you know if you pass is you move on to the next.
Yeah, that's right.
So he asked me, he goes, is your pre-trip finished? I said, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. You mean yes, sir? Or did you say yeah, sure?
No, I was very respectful. I use sir.
No, it's a Super Troopers.
Yeah, I know.
Cameo.
So he goes, we're going to move on to the back end. Or the forward and, he said forward and reverse maneuvers. And I said, okay, cool. Yeah.
And you got no guidance there either.
Oh, no. He explains it in very
Tells you exactly what he wants you to do.
Yes.
I got you.
And how he wants you to do it.
Yeah.
And the whole nine. So, you know, we went through it. And I did perfectly fine.
Right.
All the way up to that fourth maneuver, which is the reverse blindside offset.
Yeah.
And I knew I was going to have problems with that because I have a tendency just to do my own thing.
Yeah.
You know, just like last night or this morning. If I was doing my own thing, however I wanted to do it, I always made it in that box.
Right.
Sometimes I'd hiccup.
Yeah.
But I would always make it in that box. The safest way was coming to a stop, making your turns, you know, looking at your landmarks. Well, I got in my head this morning with those two sitting there staring at me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they're not in the truck now. They're standing outside looking at you.
Yeah.
And they both have clipboards. And, you know, they're both... The pens are moving.
Examiner's grading you. The DOT guy's grading the examiner.
Yeah. So, I don't remember how I messed up, but I messed up on the first turn. My setup was picture perfect.
Yeah.
I was maybe a foot away from the cone. Didn't have to back up to fix the set. Like, I was picture perfect.
Yeah.
And I started making the turn, and I realized that I was already going in reverse. And I said, this is going to suck. So I did a pull-up, fixed myself, started going back again.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not deep enough in this box. And I said, well, whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I need to save my pull-up in case I'm crooked.
Yeah.
So I hear a whistle. I'm like, oh, man, I'm done. No, I didn't hit the cone, so we're okay.
Yeah.
Because if you hit the cone, that's like 7 points.
Yeah, that I don't know if it's every cone, but I know that one at the top left of the box is 7 points. And guys, if you're wondering, you can only miss 8 points and still pass.
So at this point, they're behind me.
On your maneuvers.
At this point, they're behind me.
Right.
And I don't have them in my mirrors.
Yeah.
I heard a whistle, but there was other exams going on too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, was that me? So I wasn't sure. You can't get out of the truck. Technically, it's a get out and look if you leave the seat.
Yeah, yeah.
So I rolled the window down.
You only get 2 get out and looks on the last maneuver.
And I hadn't used one of them yet. But I didn't want to use them until I absolutely had to.
Right.
And I didn't want to use it to get out and be like, hey, was that you or was that them?
Yeah.
Or, you know. So
What's going on back
I just
here?
sat there. And then I saw the Crocodile Dundee hat come out from the side of the trailer, and he's like, I'm like, oh, that was his whistle.
Yeah,
you know?
that was definitely him.
So he's like, you broke the plane, which is the line.
You broke the plane?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, okay. And the DOT guy turned, and the examiner looked at me, and I said, I said, is that a fail? He goes, go fix yourself. And I'm like, message understood, off I go. I was like, I got this. I can fix this. This is no problem.
Right.
You know, I spun that truck out of there. I was straight, and I knew. I was counting my landmarks. And I'm like, that trailer. Where we practice, the landmarks are different.
Yeah, the reference points, yeah.
So, these reference points were off. I'm like, there's no way that trailer's in that box.
Right.
You know, because I can see my flashing lights on the ground.
Right.
Just enough. I'm like, I knew I was too far away. Hadn't used to get out and look yet. So I utilized it on that.
Right.
And I knew I only had to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
And I forgot about my second get out and look. So I backed up some, popped the brakes, sound the horn. I was like, oh no. Because I don't know if I'm in the box yet.
Nothing.
So he's like, come on. And I'm like, oh no. So I get out and he goes, we're going to go for a ride. I'm like, you betcha let's go.
That's awesome.
You know? So, and I would say that the ride was the most strenuous part.
Really?
This whole.
Yeah,
Because,
you only thought you were stressed.
Well, we did it. It was a 7 o'clock test time. So by the time we went on that ride, it was 7:30, 7:45.
Right.
Rush hour traffic.
Yeah. Everybody's trying to get to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you prep me, watch your signs.
Yeah. I can watch everything.
Which I was. I was
Yeah.
reading every sign, you know. Because especially here in Missouri, you have the flashing yellow arrows where you can turn on, you know, after a stop or however it's labeled. You know, I'm reading all these signs. He said, what was the weight limit on that overpass? I said, I don't know. But I can tell you what the truck in front of the weight limit sign said, and it said Penske.
Yeah. Because he was blocking it.
He was like, not good enough.
Yeah, he saw it before the truck went up on you. Yeah, I got you.
You know, and I saw the pen going, and I was like, oh no. And then my dyslexic butt said on one of the exit ramps, the speed limit was 55, and I said 50. And I corrected myself. He goes, you can't correct yourself.
Yeah, you already said it.
You already said it. So I'm like, okay. And I knew I had points to spare.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the auto fail, the auto fails, guys, on each part of the exam. Number one, the air brake test, if you mess it up, it's auto fail.
Yep.
Number two, on your maneuvers, if you use, the only get out and looks you get, I think there's one on maneuver 3, which you shouldn't have to do it because it's a forward maneuver.
I don't think there is.
You don't think so?
I don't think there is.
I thought there was one.
I think it's only on.
I know there's 2 on the maneuver 4, which is your reverse offset. If you get out a third time, if that door opens, like he said, technically, if you get out of the seat the third time,
yeah,
it's auto fail. So
you can lean out the window.
Yeah.
But if they see you come up off that seat, that's considered a get out and look.
Right, right. So there's a lot of different stipulations, and this stuff changes all the time. It's never the same. You know, it never stays the same long. So kind of like Prime's hiring requirements. Yep. They change month to month. So and I'm not saying it necessarily changes that fast, but John did it. He got through it.
Yep.
And here's the crazy part. And he thought I was lying.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Out of 8 years here at Prime, all the guys I've trained in PSD, he's my first trifecta. Out of all of them, I've never had anybody. And I told you what I tell you before you got on the truck. I'm not a good trainer, bro. I'm telling you, I'm not a good trainer. And he's like, I thought you were joking. It's like, nope. Lower your expectations. You'll be a lot happier with me.
We did just fine.
We did just fine. Yeah, we did good. Let's get into some of these comments real quick because I know you guys
we're running behind.
We are. Yeah, we've already 47 minutes for John to tell his exam
I got more.
Let's see. Are there Crackhead says, are there trucking GPSs that are almost 100% accurate? No. There's not been a day in my career where I trusted my GPS solely. I'm always using my GPS, my Atlas. If it's state and local routes, I'm always using Google for my final mile to drop waypoints and driveways. I'm using the Macro 19s that Prime gives us for existing directions from other drivers' experiences. I'm using Trucker Path for routing as well for stops and stuff, and using the fuel map for fueling. So there's like 5 or 6 different tools that I coincide to do trip planning with. I don't care if you buy the most expensive, the latest and the greatest GPS that America has to offer.
Yeah, I think the most expensive now is like a little over $1,000.
Do not
trust
it. Do not trust it 100%.
Don't waste your money.
Exactly. And I told John, I said, to be honest with you, if you have common sense with Trucker Path, Google, and Atlas, you don't need a truck GPS, to be honest with you. Because we literally use ours just for reference. We have the O.T.R 700. It's the little small one, nothing big. And it's got the camera on it. There's a bunch of cameras on that truck, but including Prime's. But
I've had very good luck with Prime camera.
Yeah, you're like number 62 out of the whole fleet. Yeah, you're doing good. But no, guys, there's not a trucking GPS that's 100% legit. Now, if Google would come out with truck routing, bro, it'd be on like Donkey Kong.
Which I really don't see why they can't, because the data's already there. Rand McNally has it.
Yeah, they should be able to do it, man. They should coincide with Rand McNally. It'd be good.
And I've only used the one that you have in your truck.
Right.
Yeah.
The Garmin, yeah.
But I can tell you right now, it wasn't accurate yesterday going on that load. Yeah.
Wasn't accurate getting to that Petro either.
Well, yeah. Well, that was crazy. I've never seen that. But all the way up till we got in the hills, it matched pretty much with what Google was saying.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool. And then we get 3/4 of the way there, and we look up and it's like 181 miles to go, and Google's like 40. I'm
40,
like,
yeah. Yeah, that thing flipped out. It wigged out.
Yeah.
And if we wouldn't have already trip planned, we wouldn't have already planned our route, we would have no idea. And this is where a lot of trainees get lost, because when they go, see, there's so much we can talk about this, and I'm going to try to condense it. the PSD process at Prime, if you guys are stuck on the pad and you do your minimum 8 hours or whatever it is, 10 hours, and you go to Kansas City and you come back, 9 times out of 10, you're not even driving both shifts. You're just driving one. You know, you do pad time and all this. You guys aren't prepared for road life, okay, in the TNT phase, in my opinion.
No.
In my experience. Because I picked up plenty of guys that were just TNT.
You're not prepared for trucking.
No,
period.
yeah. And I picked up plenty of guys that I just took TNT. I didn't PSD them. And these guys are like, I don't even know how to log in. Like, how do I... My instructor did all that for me. I'm like,
yeah,
bro, John, just like Aaron, he's already doing his logs. He's already dropping, hooking. He's already doing paperwork, macros. He's doing everything. And, like, now we get to go to TNT. So guess who can sleep? Both of us get sleep.
yeah.
Because I can trust him now. I've trained him from the ground up how we need to run that truck. So, and he's familiar with Prime stuff now. No, he's not an expert at it, neither am I. We learn every day. So, but he has a really good idea about what's going on now. So here's the thing. These guys that just jump on these trucks, they're going to follow that GPS because they think that's legit. They think that's perfect.
Yep.
So so the guys that sleep behind there, the GPS wigs out, goes from 89 miles to 200 miles. Well, guess what? They're just going to follow that crazy route. Your trainer's going to wake up like, dude, we're about to be late. We're still 160 miles away. What's going on? Well, I just followed the GPS. If something like that happens to you guys and you're in training, you stop. You do a safe stop. Okay. First safe place to stop, rest area, exit ramp. You know,
I had that
you can
today,
go across,
too.
whatever the case may be. Throw your turn signal on, 4 ways, stop, set the brakes.
Yep.
Get up and wake your trainer up, okay? And if he gets mad at you,
Oh, well.
let him be mad. But bottom line is, you just saved you guys a bunch of heartache, probably a service failure, and you're learning something. Because he's going to have to get up. Bottom line is, if your trainer's mad at you for trying to learn, you need a new trainer. That's all there is to it. I hate to tell you. But, you know, we're all going to be grumps every now and then, but it is what it is. But yeah, don't trust trucking GPSs. They're just a tool, okay? A very vague, weak tool.
And I don't like it either. I just, it's not up to what I would think it would be.
Right.
For the money that you have to spend.
Right.
You know, Google is 1,000 times better.
Right.
Yeah, because you can see the terrain.
And watch your road signs, guys.
The way that the road shows on Google gives you an accurate idea of what's coming up in front of you.
Exactly.
Versus this GPS, it's like straight line, like straight angles and stuff. You know, so you don't know how, is that going to be a nice swooping curve, or is it going to be one of those 90 degrees, or
right.
You know. But just use your best judgment.
Yeah, you got to use your common sense, guys, and you're going to need it. You're going to need common sense in this industry if you're coming in here.
Now we also have Copilot on the tablet. I haven't played with it.
That's
so
another truck GPS. I'm not paying for Copilot.
So you have?
Yeah, you got to pay for it.
Oh, I didn't know if that was
from
provided.
Prime. You got to pay for it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got to pay for everything.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
So Crackhead says, was trucking your first career dream choice? Bro, I don't think I don't know. There might have been there might have been some people out here that would be like, man, yeah, trucking. Been dreaming about this since I was a kid. But that's where we go back to that American dream version of trucking. The big truck, all the chrome, the big hood, the awesome looking chromed out trailer. Like, I mean, it's so hard to live that type of trucking lifestyle. It's almost impossible. These trucks are almost $300,000 now. These big hood trucks, which are almost obsolete, they just did away with the KW900 this year. They're getting like 5.5 to 7 miles per gallon at best. You know, you can't afford it. I mean, it's insane. It takes a lot of money to look good. That's why I stay looking ugly. It's cheap, really cheap, guys. Really cheap.
I'm even seeing. I saw a couple cattle haulers driving, the aero trucks now.
Yeah.
That's the direction it's moving.
Yeah, that's what it
I
is.
mean, sorry, but
King Chef Brent says, "What's up, sir? How you doing, man?" Yeah, it's because it's more efficient. You're making more money because once again the rates have dropped. Carolina Trucker says, "What happened to the beard, man? Hardly recognized you, bro." My wife has been harping on me about shaving this beard, cutting it off. And I didn't let it get to me. I wanted to keep my beard. And it wasn't hurt. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't hurt. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it. Just see. Bro, instant regret. Instant regret. Should have never done it. It's not going away next time. I can promise you that. I look like I got carded for nicotine pouches the other day. Can't do that. Can't do that. Rog says, well said. Rog says, well said, thanks. Would you think Prime would sign contracts that were at least what the Prime average rate per mile for a lease owner-op makes per mile? Hope that makes sense. Well, they're not. Prime's always, and from what I heard, we lost a few contracts because they were trying to dip way below our averages where Prime wanted to stay. So, I'm going to tell you guys what my 90-day average is. I'm going to show it to you on O.T.R here. Give me just a second. And I can pull it up on the OBS, but it's going to take me a second. I'm not going to do that. So if you guys can see here, 90-day average for trips, 227 loaded rate per mile. I don't know if you guys can see that or not.
No, it just...
Did it flip?
Yeah, it tapped on.
$90-day average right there. So 227 a mile, and that's not great money. That's not great money at all. It's
feed your family.
But it's average. It's feed your family money. It's getting us by. I have nothing to complain about. Don't get me wrong. Prime's done a fantastic job. But the thing about it is if you're going to go lease or you're going to buy a truck, you need to be in on it to do that. Don't go lease just to see what it's like. Don't go lease just to see what kind of extra money you can make. You can make more potential money for the simple fact that you can write off more. Okay? That's literally what it is. But if you have no ambitions to own a truck, don't do it.
Yeah.
Go company. Be that W-2 employee. There's a guy that watches my channel all the time. He's a super cool dude. Jacob, I always bring you up. But he runs for a company called Shamrock Foods. He called me wanting to go to Prime. Okay? And I know you guys see a lot of these YouTubers that are all about referrals. You know, and I love the referrals. It's great. Thank you guys. Everybody who listens to me is a referral. But that's not why I do this channel. It's just a perk. He laid out his scenario. He laid out what Shamrock was offering him right now, where he's at. And his goal was to maybe one day own a truck. And he's still got kids at home. Him and his wife, you know, they're super solid marriage. And dude, when he told me what he was making and all the benefits he had, I told him absolutely not. Do not come to Prime Inc. Guys, this company will work for you if it works for you. It's not perfect. It's not going to be something that's going to be a magic fix-all. You got to put the time in, the effort in. You got to have your goals set. You're going to get out of this asphalt, what rubber you put on it. It's not something that is just me being here for 8 years is not it's not a copy and paste success story. Okay, if you're proactive, you have common sense, do your very best to be proactive and efficient and professional, you're going to do very well here. But doesn't mean that you're not going to be working hard. You got to remember that. So, Pokerhead says, so no, I don't think that they're going to, and Rog, to answer your question, they're not going to sign contracts for the average rate per mile. They always try to get as much as they possibly can. That's the name of the game. You got to understand Prime's in it to make money too.
Yep.
So they're obviously going to get as much as they can, but you have a competitive, very competitive market right now with all of the influx of drivers and carriers that are available. So we lost contracts from what I was told just a couple of days ago. We've lost some pretty major contracts, especially on the flatbed side, just due to the simple fact that their rates, they're threatening to lower the rates. Hey, we can go with such and such, and we can do it for this amount of mile. Prime said, okay, go. Prime did the same thing with Tyson. I remember getting a call from one of our buddies, and they were over at Tyson in North Carolina, and he says, dude, we just got kicked out. And we're like, what'd you do? And this is when Angel was on the truck with me, and he says, we didn't do anything. They just walked up to me and said, hey, your services are no longer needed. You need to leave the property. Take a trailer with you. Just out of nowhere. and it was like less than a month, Tyson was back. Service is what demands the rate. When you guys get out here and you guys are dropping busted trailers for shippers to load, you're dropping trailers that aren't fueled, you're dropping trailers that aren't, washed out, stuff they're not clean, you're diminishing our service level, and it looks really bad on us. You guys want better rates, do better.
Okay. And you're doing a disservice to the driver that picks up that
All
trailer.
you're doing is giving the freight to the next carrier. So if you guys want better rates, you want higher rates, do better. Be on time more. Do the right thing.
Be polite.
Be polite, yeah. You got to understand, guys. You go talk to one of these old truckers, they're probably going to be one of the most angry people. I had today, we brought a trailer in for when we brought in from Berryville, Arkansas, when we dropped. We've got a brand new 26 trailer.
I worked really hard to get that trailer, number one.
You walked across to go look at the trailer.
I had to walk through the mud.
There were flies. There was a lot of flies. I can't stand a fly.
Oh, thousands of them.
Yeah, it was nuts. Tyson was just, in the summertime, any of these protein places, chicken places, meat places, it's disgusting. So we got the trailer, whatever, and I'm thinking, man, I'm going to be slick. I'm going to hang on to this trailer. I'm going to keep my lock on there, because we're planning on leaving tomorrow. And we got to get to the truck issue here in just a minute. But so we're like, we washed the truck, we washed the trailer, we washed the washout, we got the washout for it, and we came back to the pad, got ready to test. And you can test it with any trailer. It doesn't have to be a pad trailer. You can test with any trailer. So we were already hooked in the system, so they let us back out. We told them, so we're just going to test, we're going to come back, we're going to drop it. He says, okay. And I was going to be slick and leave my lock on there. Bro, this old driver, this guy got it, and nobody told me that they took it from me. Nobody told me they unlatched me from it. And that's fine. It's no big deal. But my lock was still on it. Well, my truck is being serviced in the yard by the on-site Peterbilt tech, the mobile tech. And I'm like, holy cow, I'm up here at Millennium. Like, I was in the Z building talking to my fleet manager, and I'm like, dude, it's, I don't mind walking, but that guy's going to have to sit there and wait like a long time. So I went to the tractor shop, and they actually ran us up there in the truck to get the lock off so the guy wouldn't have to wait. This guy was angry, bro. Like, he was mad. And my first thought was like, first of all, if you were assigned that trailer, why didn't you do a pre-trip on the trailer and walk around it and see the lock? Why would you go all the way to inbound?
Did you ever find out
instead of calling your fleet manager, hey, who's the last driver that had this still got a lock on it? Because it wasn't the red lock that Prime has. So they knew it was a driver's lock. You should have did your walk around.
Yep.
But I immediately apologized to the guy. I walked up to him and said, man, I'm so sorry, man, it took so long. He's like, I've been here 20 and 30 years. You don't never lock a trailer when you come in. They're always going to take it from you and all that. So, well, I've only been here 8, and I apologize. I'm trying to apologize to you. I said, but this was our trailer. It was on us. We were going to leave with it tomorrow. He's like, I don't care. You always lose a trailer. That's just the way it is. Very ugly about it, very nasty. And I said, okay, man, I'm really sorry. I said, but next time you might want to do your pre-trip on your trailer, and you could have saved yourself the hassle of sitting in inbound. You could have made a couple phone calls, and I would have been up here and took care of it. So these truckers, they have really bad attitudes because they've been through a lot. And then when you guys display that to these shippers and receivers, well, guess what they start doing? Having bad attitudes.
Yeah.
And then so the guys like us that come in and they try to be decent, you get treated like crap. Make no mistake. Do not let somebody else's actions depict your actions, your reactions, okay? I did that when I was at the TA in Oklahoma City West. I did that, and I felt really bad about that. And I should have stayed calm, and I apologized about it. And there was a lot of people. One guy really judged me on the comments, and I told him, I said, look, man, I said, the bottom line is I apologize publicly for it. I realized I was wrong. I was man enough to admit it. And I said, and you probably wouldn't have, I'm willing to guess that you probably wouldn't even say anything about it, much less be man enough to apologize about it. I said, but guess what? No judgment here, brother. I said, I'm not judging you. I said, thanks for watching. Because, guys, I was wrong 100%. I shouldn't have reacted that way. But when you guys let other people's actions dictate your reactions, that's not a reason, that's an excuse. And it's a weak excuse. And we can't do that as professional drivers. So I was 100% in the wrong on that. What's up, Poker? Good to see you, man. Alex says, hello, you were right. 5 messages and never heard back from Van. Alex, you got to do man, send him an email. V. Gertner, Gertner, Fr8 NatioN@primeinc.com. Send him an email. And Van's a really good guy, man. He's got a lot on his plate, brother. He's got a lot going on. So, you guys, and if you don't know where he's at, he's in the Z building over there, close to Leasing. You guys go see him if you have a Peterbilt. Speaking of if you have a Peterbilt, between 22 and 25, and it has the, let me tell you, because I don't have the terminology on this. It has the old style Pack 1 injectors, okay? 22 to early model 25. They just released a campaign for it's called the E318 to replace the old Pack 1 injectors with the new design Pack 2 injectors. That's what we were having done here on the yard with the Mobile Tech. This guy did an overhead on my truck and replaced the injectors. I had to pay for the overhead because my truck was over 100,000 miles. And replaced all 6 injectors in less than 4 hours. That's insane. So guys, if you can't get to Peterbilt and you're here on the yard, we had a bad injector knot. Our injectors have been failing since Aaron was on the truck. But they will get you knocked out. And if that Mobile Tech's available, he can do it here on the yard. So don't forget that. That's some really good info. What were you going to say, John?
I think Alex was the guy that we met at Pittston.
Alex.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was the one that came up
yes.
to you in the
He was.
in the restaurant.
That's right, Alex. I'm so sorry,
Hey,
bro.
Alex, if you're still on, were you at Springfield today? Because I'm pretty sure I saw you. Pretty sure it was him.
Let's check your comments, see what he says.
Oh, yeah, I just said it's going to be at least a little.
Oh, okay,
because of
gotcha.
the lag. But yeah, I mean that was pretty cool. That
yeah, I told you he was hard to get a hold of, but you can get him. Poker says also make sure the trailer's 100% aired up. The Wabash trailers sometimes take a lot of air. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Always make sure your trailer's aired up before you do anything. Just use WD-40 on the slide, Mark Cortez says. That might help, and that's one thing I never understood. Why don't we grease the slides and the pins? I don't understand that at all. Like, you figured that would be a thing for the tandems, the release and the locking pins. Let's see. That's what I ended up doing. Built a little dirt pile, chalk, and some elbow grease. Finally got it to slide. Good deal, Trey. When are you going to post your other channel? Let me see if I can get you guys a link real quick. So the other channel is called 180 Ministries. And guys, I'm no preacher. This is my dedication to God. This is what I do. And I need to be doing more of it. I honestly do. But guys, if you guys are looking for something, I promise you God's got the answer. I don't have the answer. He's got the answer. But let me see if I can get you guys the link for this. I'm so sorry it's taking so long to get all this done. Let's see here.
Because like when I tried to join earlier, it did the same thing. It wouldn't let me turn my camera on.
It's a very small channel, guys. It's not a big channel at all. 17 subscribers, so it's tiny. Let's see here. Here you go. Let's see if this helps. There's the new channel. So you guys should be able, that should be a clickable link. Let me know if that link doesn't work. So let me know if that doesn't work here. All right, let's keep going here. So yeah, Robert, I did post the other channel. Jan says, not the beard. Hello, drivers. I know, man. Dude, I regret it.
it'll be back.
Yeah, it's coming back. It's gonna be better. I promise. It's gonna be better. I'd route the reefer in this sleeper if I could. Oh, okay. So he's saying he would trip plan in the sleeper if he could. Now you can. If you have a Garmin GPS, you can actually drop waypoints on Apple Maps and send it to your GPS via Bluetooth. But it doesn't mean that it's going to actually stay the route that you want. So how could anyone miss anything on a pre-trip when you have the best trainer here on YouTube? Ha! Oh, John, you want to comment on that crap?
What, you didn't miss anything on the pre-trip.
No, he said, how could anyone miss anything on a pre-trip when you have the best trainer here on YouTube? Bro.
My memory is not the greatest.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can tell me something and 5 minutes later, I'll sit here and argue with you that we never had the conversation.
No, I told John straight up, listen, man, this victory is all you, brother, because I'm not a good trainer. I even told the guy that was filling out his paperwork when he got done, he was filling it out, and he's like, all right, you did PSD with him. He's like, all right, so John, we're going to get you with a good TNT trainer. And I just kind of looked at John, while he's filling out the paperwork. And he said, are you taking him? And I was like, yes, JB, I'm taking him. And he goes, well, let's just ask him, John, are you going to go TNT with him? And I was like, are you going to do it, John? Because I'm not a good trainer. And he's like, and he looks at JB and he's like, dude, I thought he was joking. Like, but he seriously stands by that. Dude, I'm not. Guys, everything in my life, if you guys want to be happier with me, just lower your expectations. You'll be a lot happier. I'm nothing special. But thank you, though, Georgia Trucker. I appreciate the props, man. But dude, there's so many better trainers than me. I promise you, here at Prime. Mark says, if you're an experienced driver and you come to Prime to work as a lease operator, do you still need to do some kind of training before you're able to get into a truck? So it just depends what kind of experience you have. Some of the local stuff, they might want you to do 10,000 miles, 15,000 miles. Depends on how you come in. If you've been O.T.R for a year, 2 years, 9 times out of 10, you're going to do a 3-day orientation and you're going to go straight to lease. So there's a lot of different classifications. It goes from D seat to A seat. A seat obviously is the upgraded solo operator. You're the captain of the ship. D seat is a student with no CDL. C seats are people who come in with CDLs and need some experience, or they have a little bit of experience but not quite the right experience, or they have no experience, which is what I was. I came in as a C seat. After the assessment week, I upgraded to a B1 or B2, I think it was, which I think is what you are now. Is that what they said? B2?
Yes.
B2, yeah. So if John upgrades, when he upgrades and he says, hey, Will, I think I might need a little bit more. I want to just stay on the truck with you a little bit longer after upgrade. Is that cool? And we work out a pay scale or whatever. He would then be a B1. So you'd come in as a C seat. You got to make sure your experience is right, guys, and reach out to all the recruiters' information. I don't care about the referral. Just reach out to Dustin. John can attest. Dustin is a fantastic recruiter. We have a lot of great recruiters here, but I've been using Dustin for quite some time, and he's jam up. So, guys, call Prime, call Dustin and talk to him, and he'd be the one to actually go from there. Remember, when you apply, you have 30 days once they accept your application to do something. So don't apply and then think you're going to wait 6 months, because they're not going to do that. Their hiring requirements change every month. So 1 month they might be hiring 100 drivers total. The next month they might be hiring 500. So you got to be wary of that. So make sure that you're understanding that, and please use somebody's driver code. Okay, use John's driver code. What's your driver code? HUNJNG.
Yep.
If you want to use John's, HUNJNG, you don't just use somebody's, because what it does is it gives you guys an edge. They know that you've been talking with somebody. It puts you at the top of that list. So you guys actually have a chance to get a little bit ahead on other drivers in that application stack.
And I can tell you, Dustin, he was a stand-up guy. I hit that submit button, and I hit it at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
But sometime during breakfast time, my phone rang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, you're going to get very prompt responses out of this guy. He's going to be very honest with
He's
you.
very proactive, yeah.
Yeah.
Brent says you have one get out and look and one pull up on number 2. Why would you on the straight line back?
Yeah.
Because your number 1 maneuver.
I think he is right.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why would you need to get out and look?
You did.
Okay.
You do, because I remember the examiner saying that.
All right,
now.
so here's the maneuvers. You do a forward straight stop, okay, a forward stop at the end of the box. You pull all the way through the box, and you come back, a straight line back all the way outside the box. Then you do what's called a forward offset. It's basically the opposite of a parallel. And then you do a rear offset, which is basically a parallel, a blindside parallel. That's it. When I came in, we were doing like alley docks and offsets, all kinds of stuff.
So I forgot to mention this to you about that first maneuver.
Go ahead.
I almost blew that box out.
Really?
And it was 110% pure laziness on my part.
Oh God, the Ford stop maneuver. Oh wow.
So, I had my head out the window, looking at the bumper, and I knew I was good. I reached up, tossed it in neutral, and as I'm reaching for the brake, the parking brake for the truck, my foot moved. The truck.
Ooh.
So I hurried up and pulled it.
Ooh.
And,
guys, I can tell you when
and you get out after once you pull your brakes and sound the horn, you get out.
Get
of the
out
truck.
and look and verify.
Well, more or less because he's going to tell you what you're doing next.
Right.
And I looked down, and just a smidgen of that deer guard was outside the box.
Bro.
And he looked, and then he looked from a different angle, and then the DOT guy was like, "We're good." He was like, "It's in the box." He was like, "Not by a lot." He goes, "But it is in the box."
Oof.
I forgot to tell you about that.
So, guys, when you guys are doing your maneuvers out here on the pad, or anywhere, I don't care where you're at, make sure that you apply the brakes firmly before you make your next move.
Yep.
Do not lightly press the brakes.
Don't do anything I did today.
Exactly. Yes, pass, but just learn from our mistakes. Let's put it that way. So Texas Trucker says, I love Trucker Path. I do too, man. It's amazing. I always use the free version of Copilot on my phone. Copilot was good, like back when everybody was doing the tablets, when tablets started being a big thing. It was pretty good. What's good, Fr8? How are you and the family? Hey, Cadet. Good to see you, gal. Everybody's great. Mama's good. She's enjoying being off the road. She has to come in every 60 days and run she has to log in and run a partial of a load if she wants to. So when John we're going to run about 2 weeks with John, TNT, get us both some revenue going. And then he's going to go home to do his license for a couple days and see his family and everything. So, and he can take as long as he needs. It's up to him. And then I'm going to go down, pick Mama up. We're going to run a little short load or something, and then drop her back off and then swing back up and get John when he's ready. So, but yeah, everybody's great. Very blessed. We got no complaints at all. Thank you so much. I hope everybody's well on your end too. God bless you guys. JD Bukes says, Prime sucks. JD, can you do me a favor? And please comment that 80 more times. It really helps the algorithm. Thank you, man. Much love, brother. What's up, Jamal? What's going on, brother? What's up, guys? I can taste it. He's ready. Jamal's so ready. Penny Jr. is ready. He's ready to come in. Got here late. Gonna back up to the beginning later. You didn't miss nothing, brother. We're just a bunch of clowns. Quinn says, hey, man, I was one of the commenters on the Big Wheel group when you posted about your shake. Did you end up finding the problem? Yes, I did, Quinn. So when I dropped Aaron off, I went home, and they finally figured out about I think I said it in the live, I'm not sure, but it was the kingpins had worn out from all the vibration from the airbag. So the first time we went in, they changed out the leaf spring pins and bushings and retorqued everything, retightened everything. They wore out prematurely, and then that started the kingpin wearing, and so the kingpins wore out. Everything was covered under warranty. TLG Peterbilt Springfield guys, Clayton Miller and his crew over there, they're amazing. Like, those guys are fantastic over there. Van here, he's fantastic. He's hard to get a hold of because he's so busy, but Van's fantastic, guys. We got a really good team here, man. I'm telling you guys, they're jam up. Jamal says, if you can get Dustin to answer phone. Well, Jamal, here's the thing, bro. They kicked you over to Barbara, so now you have to deal with Barbara. And I even talked to him about that today, and he said, I think it was because I was off that weekend. And he said, and then it cycled over to the next recruiter, which was Barbara. So Barbara's good, though. She's real sweet, so I think she's going to get you taken care of.
And don't forget, calling them's also maybe not the best.
No, email
because they're on the phone 24
through the portal. Yeah, what is it called?
Driver Pulse.
The Driver Pulse portal. Yeah, portal. Yeah.
And that's a really good app for them. Just don't send any documents over it. It gives you an option to.
Right.
But they can't see that stuff.
Exactly.
So just free type what you need to ask.
Yeah. This is a really good question coming. Trent says, "What's up? What's up, brother? Good to see you, Trent." So Mark Cortez says, "Does Prime cap the amount of money that you can make to the truck, or can you make as much as you want?" I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Mark, the official answer is no. But here's something that you got to understand. Through 8 years of averages, okay, they do fluctuate. And when I say averages, I'm not talking about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm talking about when you can take 10, 12 weeks of your revenue at any specific point of any specific year, and you can average it out, okay? Because I run a certain way. You're not going to see me run different next month than I ran this month, okay? I always run to maximize efficiency and profitability, okay? When you run the way you run, you're going to be able to look over these averages. Now, here's the thing. We don't control. I can't just pick every single load I want to pick and take it, okay? Prime has the control on that. You can request something and you can deny things, but you don't have the full control of a load board to do whatever you want to do. There's a lot of hands in this cookie jar, okay? It's one thing that I really don't agree with Prime on a lot of aspects, because I've known a lot of lazy drivers that I will talk to and they wait till the last second to drop loads. They will literally run their clocks out just to get a 34, and next thing you know, they're averaging what I was averaging solo. And somehow they always end up getting that high dollar amount load to even them out. Now, if you're a very lazy driver that's always late, you're always fueling wrong, you're always causing issues or something like that, believe me, man, nobody's going to throw you a bone. You're on your own. I can go and tell you. So if you're not going to be professional, you're not going to be treated professional. I can go and tell you that right now. But what I will tell you is what I've seen in the last 8 years, okay, solo average revenue is anywhere between $4,200 to $5,500. Okay, total gross to the truck, average. 42 is a bad week, 55, and you'll have weeks that are worse than that. But that, you gotta understand, average is average. It's not every single week. Team revenue can be run anywhere from $7,500 to $12,000. Okay, in the average area. You know, $12,000 is obviously husband and wife teams that are constantly doing pharmaceuticals. A lot of people are on certain accounts, different lanes. There's all kinds of different scenarios, guys. The variables are endless. Okay, but as a solo operator, you can expect to see anywhere between 15 to 18 average and 18 to 22 average. Okay, those are your high averages. So in those range right there, low, you're going to have weeks where you only make $1,100, and it's stuff that you just can't help. You might have ended up getting a layover for 2 of your loads that you're stuck for 2 days on. Well, guess what? That layover might not pay out till 3 weeks. Well, next thing you know, you've got a check that should have been $1,500 and it turns into $1,900. So there's so many variables, guys. You can't say that. So does Prime control your revenue? Yes, to an extent. You don't have the choice. Okay, you can request it, but doesn't mean you're going to get it. Yes. Trent, let's see. So that was a good question, Mark. And Mark, I can tell you this, man. You keep your head down, and you come in here for what you're coming in here for with your goals, bro, you're going to do just fine. King Chef. Oh, Jamal said, King Chef, are you a trainer? Yes, he is. He's a really good guy, too. His name's Brent. He's out of the West Coast over there. 412, what up, big bro? What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Okay, Jamal's talking to King Chef. Okay, let's see. Trent says, yes, they manage your revenue to a certain degree. The goal is to try to average the revenue out over the fleet. Exactly. They want everybody to get a piece of the pie. That's Trent probably best. That was probably the best explanation. I go into a little bit more detail than needed, but Jamal says, I need a trainer end of next week. I start orientation Wednesday. Brent says, only if you come to Salt Lake, then maybe. You guys need to get a room. But guys, so we had the truck get worked on. We had the injectors get done. We had the
trailer stolen.
We had our trailer stolen. John passed his CDL exam, so it's freaking amazing. And I don't know why, dude. Your camera looks so dark right now.
I think because...
Hold on, let me see. Let me see if this will help. Hold on. Let's do this. Because we're about to call it anyways, but I wanted to see if this helped any. No, it actually got worse. Oh yeah, it got way worse.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because I got the window this way, and
Yeah, it got way worse.
that's all right. They don't need to see me anyway.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. You're the man of the hour, bro.
No, sir.
You're the man with the plan. I don't know how you had this thing.
I didn't have it anyway.
Oh God.
There you go.
That's
fun.
fun.
Just
Right
like
there.
Yeah, but if you're coming into Prime, make sure everything's buttoned up. Don't waste money on a sleep study.
412 said, "What's the deal with your student, bro? Have him speak on his thoughts and turn on some light or something. No need for the serial killer vibes." Bro, you're looking tough over there. Did the truck get back from the shop? Brenton never went to the shop, brother. They did it all on site, bro. Mobile Tech replaced a 6-pack and did an overhead in the parking lot, bro, while I was parked. Quinn said, "Should see a slight bump in fuel mileage with the overhead done, so as long as it's been a good overhead." Bro, I should see a big... My fuel mileage went from 9.2 average over the last 3 weeks down to 6.3. Bro, those injectors were bad. I can't believe we made it as long as we did. Like, I was just riding it out to get John here to test him. And we're very, very blessed. Bro, that was insane. I can't believe it happened that way. We got really, really lucky, bro. I'm telling you, man.
Especially with some of those loads that we had.
Yeah, God always works it out, brother. I can't tell you guys. And that's it always works out, man. And that's the thing about Prime, man. I've never vouched for anybody's experience other than mine. Okay, I work really hard, and I work well with this company. Okay, not saying that you can't make money other places. I'm not saying you can't make better money, but we're very grateful to be here. I'll put it to you that way. There's been some rough stuff going on in this world, in the freight market, and Prime's been carrying us through it. I've got no complaints. I have no complaints at all. And you're going to have people like the guy up there, Prime sucks, and, you know, I hear it all the time. You're not a true owner-operator, and you're not this, and you're not that. Here's the thing. My experience is not your problem. So if you don't like it, that's okay. You know, I'm not panhandling for anybody to come to Prime. But I'll tell you this, they've done right by me. That's all I got to tell you. So you guys got to understand, like, everybody's experience is not a copy and paste experience, bro. You're going to get out of this asphalt with rubber you put on it. Quinn says, now you know how them big hood people feel with them mile per gallon numbers. Bro, I think some of them would be like, you get 6 miles per gallon, boy, you better shut up. I ain't get but 4.5. There's a lot of them, yeah, racing up them fuel points. Oh, yeah, racking them up, yeah. Oh, yeah, we've been getting them TA credits, son. We'll be getting that Popeyes.
Yeah, the things you learn on the road.
Yeah. Tell them how to do it. That's how you do it.
Yeah, this guy's teaching me how to get Popeyes, and I can eat like 2 chicken tenders, and I'm full.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's just ungrateful, man. He's just telling you. It's never good enough. Why can't we eat Chick-fil-A? Whatever, bro.
I'm not big on the whole Chick-fil-A thing.
Whatever.
I will say
What's up?
that the restaurant in Springfield at the terminal.
Oh, yeah. Capiche.
It's on point.
Capiche.
Yeah. It makes Pittston look like a 7-Eleven.
And they do good over there.
They do.
Pittston does good.
But there is a lot more here. A lot more.
Trent says his average is 5.8 miles per gallon. Bro, I would shoot myself in the face. You don't understand. I would shoot myself in the face for 5.8 miles per gallon. Oh,
we were in the 5s the other day.
Yeah, but we were climbing 68. We were like at 40,000 pounds climbing Interstate 68 trying to get to Ohio or trying to get to Illinois with that Hershey load. Oh, man. Ugh. Gross. But yeah, guys, I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Wanted to give you guys a quick update. I haven't done much YouTube. I really don't have the drive for it, to be honest with you. Can we talk about winter driving? Well, Mark, there is I've got a couple winter videos. If you go look up, I think it's training or teaching videos or something. One of the playlists we've got, but there's a good winter video. I can tell you, as far as winter driving goes, there's a couple key points. Yeah, she's thirsty, Trent. I know she is. There's a couple key points you need to think about when you're winter driving. Number one, it doesn't have to be 32 degrees for moisture to freeze on the roadway, okay? When you start getting below 40, anything can happen, okay? Number two, if you can't see the road, you can't see the lines, you can't see the car that's right in front of you, like you can't see headlights, taillights, bro, pull off. If the snow falls that bad, if the fog's that bad, whatever the case may be, pull off, okay? Find a safe place, pull off, not on the side of the highway. Number three, if you see ice forming on your windshield and on your mirrors, 9 times out of 10, it's on the road, okay? You got to remember that. No jakes and no cruise at all, okay, when it comes to that. And slow down. Do not do the speed limit. Just because the speed limit's 80 does not mean you need to be doing 80, okay? If it gets that bad, okay, you need to pull off, all right? Number four, if you see no road spray, you know how when it's raining and you see cars pass you and they're just throwing up a cloud of water all over your truck? If you see no road spray, there's ice on the ground.
Yeah, no
I can promise you, okay? Pull over, okay? Number five, if there's a chain law in effect, pull over. We chain up to get out of trouble, not into trouble, okay? Don't do it. I promise you. Wait till daylight. Give it 2 or 3 hours after the sun has risen. Chain law will be lifted. It's not worth it, okay? Guys, it's all common sense stuff. Watch your weather ahead of your trip when you do your trip plan. Check your weather daily, every single day. Find out what you're driving into. We managed to bypass a huge storm that went through Arkansas when we were coming up to Berryville for the simple fact that we saw it coming before we left. We knew what we were going into. We saw the path of the storm on the radar. We knew, we adjusted our route, went just south of it. We got a little bit of it, but not the worst of it. Just south of it, we were still able to make our load on time.
Oh, I was cruising through that storm.
Yeah, because it was just, it would be heavy rain, then it would be light rain. Heavy rain, then light rain. But guys, what happened after that? Above us, if we would have took the route we were going to take, we would have been stopped. There's no way. It would have been ridiculous.
Yeah, we talked about pulling off a couple times because it got to that point to where you couldn't really see a whole lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Quinn said, yeah, that's me too. Huge parachute with the end dump. Yeah, man. You guys are out there doing the real trucking, man. Trent says, I'm open deck, and yeah, it's like dragging a parachute. When it's icy, just hammer down, cruise all, make sure you got them flip-flops in the window. Trent said that. I didn't say that. So, you guys got to find Trent if something happens. I don't know about that. Guys, seriously, weather's nothing to play about. Give me just a second, Mark, and let me give you the link to that real quick, that video, and hopefully this will help you out some. Give me 2 seconds here.
Yeah, and you also got, it's not just winter driving. Like summertime, you got to worry about the tornadoes. And
yeah, it's crazy. Like states like Wyoming, Nebraska, Idaho, Utah, these states, it could be July, bro, and it could be snowing out there and icy. You got to be really careful. Flagstaff, Arizona is really bad. You guys got to really pay attention to your weather and your surroundings. Let's see. Let me find this video for you here, buddy. I'm not trying to take up too much of you guys' time. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm about to start chilling out on YouTube, man. I'm gonna do these training videos for you guys. We're gonna do some good trainee videos, stuff that trainers need to know and trainees need to know. And I'm probably gonna fall off the map for a while, to be honest with you. I'm gonna stay on 180 Ministries, and then that's probably gonna be my deal, because I don't make enough revenue off of YouTube to make it a job. So it's never been a job for me. It's just been a hobby. I've enjoyed helping people. But yeah, there's your link right there. There's your link there, Mark. Yes, Trent, watch the 511 weather apps. Guys, remember, you can check the DOT maps for every single state online. Just type in whatever the state's abbreviation is, Wyoming, WY, DOT. It'll bring up the 511 maps like Trent's talking about. It's amazing, okay? It's amazing to be able to look ahead, guys, and know what you're getting into. But as soon as you know you need to park. Don't stretch it out. Don't get caught up on the side of the highway. So I'm telling you, it'll be awesome. Ran into the snow on Donner last week. Yeah, man. Good thing you're an experienced driver. Brent, you know what you're doing, brother. That's
I'm
one.
good. I'm good.
Yeah, he said I'm good. Oh, we're going to run into it. Don't you worry. But take it slow, guys. If you're in bad weather, always be looking as far ahead as you possibly can. Headlights on, wipers on, and be smart. Use your head. No load is worth your life, and there's no load too hot that it won't cool off in a ditch. I know you guys have heard that. So you guys got to be smart about it. Don't be in a rush when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, but hopefully that link will help you out there, Mark. That was an old video. It's 2020. It's been a minute since I did a winter video, and I really appreciate it. All you guys' support and views. We're getting close to getting closer and closer to 10K subs, man. I think when I get to 10K, I might just delete the channel. So I'm just playing. Good.
Yeah, he's not doing that. I'm not gonna let that happen.
Yeah.
At least not till we're looking end of June.
Yeah, we're gonna try to streamline.
So you all have till at least end of June.
Yeah, I find when you go through bad weather, you end up getting more tired. You do, man, because your body's more focused. You're more tense. You know, you're really clammed up trying to drive through the stuff.
Yep.
And it's not fun. It's not fun at all. So, John, I'm just gonna get your camera off, bro. Your camera, bro.
It's getting darker and darker in here.
You need to be like the guy from Saw, like, let's play a game.
I need that. I need to go get that hoodie T-shirt I got. And put
Yeah.
the hood up and put sunglasses on.
Good to see you, Brent. God bless, buddy. But guys, till the next one. This was just a little quick update. If you have the Peterbilt, the E318 campaign, call Prime. Call the local TLG, whoever your road assist. If you're with road assist, even if you're not with road assist, guys, if you're with another company and you got a 22 to early model 25 579 that's got the MX-13 packer in it, and it's got the Pack 1 injectors in it, okay, they should be able to run your VIN and tell you there's a campaign out to get all 6 of them replaced under warranty. So just make sure you guys remember that. That's a big deal. So John has sleep study tomorrow. Tonight, and then we are rolling after lunch. So
Yeah, I can't wait to get that rocked out because I'm exhausted. That was the plan, to be exhausted.
yeah, he is. He's exhausted. I'm exhausted, and I got you guys see the mess here. I got to clean up. I've got a spread, man. Let me see if I can show you guys real quick. Give me 1 second here.
But we got a lot accomplished.
Oh yeah, we did.
I passed, and we did laundry, and I want a sleep study.
Well, I can't get it. I can't get the other camera to work. Okay, well, never mind then. Anyways, it is what it is. No Peterbilt and piston for Success Leasing. Yeah, you just gonna have to reach out to Road Assist, Jamal, when you get ready, and they'll get you taken care of. They get you taken care of, guys. So, guys, that's it for us, man. Appreciate everybody. God bless you guys, and we are out of here. So, if there's no more questions, I'm gone.
Yeah, good night.
About to go get something to eat, and
Good
we're
night.
out.
Thanks for being here. And
Yep. John said thanks for watching, guys.
I'm exhausted. And good night.
Yep. He's exhausted. Good night. Guys, till the next one. Stay safe, stay driven, stay focused, stay loaded. God bless. Fr8 and Jon, we're out of here.